Have you ever found yourself saying yes to something? Maybe doing a favor, even when honestly it wasn't convenient. Or, not really what you wanted.
Yeah, or buying something you didn't really need.
Exactly. Or helping someone out, but feeling this sort of vague obligation, like an invisible pull?
What is that?
What is that force, that subtle thing guiding us, maybe without us even, realizing it?
It's that feeling, isn't it, that you owe someone something.
Right.
That little bit of pressure that just kind of appears, whether it's from a small kindness or something bigger.
And it's so deep inside us.
It really is. It influences our daily choices, our interactions, and actually, as we'll get into, even our well-being.
And that is exactly what we're unpacking today. We are diving deep into one of the most, fundamental forces in human interaction.
A principle that's just so ingrained in our instincts, our social rules, even our laws sometimes.
It shapes almost everything, doesn't it? From a simple handshake right up to, global diplomacy. We are talking about the Reciprocity Principle.
Yeah. And our mission here in this deep dive is to really get what reciprocity is, why we're sort of wired to feel this indebtedness and how it shows up, in good ways like cooperation, but also sometimes in manipulation.
Yeah.
Subtle stuff.
And the goal is, by understanding it, you can feel more empowered in your daily life, your relationships, even just your own sense of well-being.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Fundamentally, what is reciprocity?
Well, think of it like this. It's the social norm, the expectation that you respond to a positive action with another positive action.
Okay.
It creates this feeling, almost automatic, that you need to return a favor. It's the core of the two-way street idea,
Give or take, a balancing act.
Fundamental balancing act, yeah.
And it's fascinating because this isn't just like a modern politeness thing we made up.
Oh, not at all. No, this goes way back, deep evolutionary roots.
Really? How so?
Well, reciprocity evolved in social animals. Over millions of years, actually. Cooperative behavior, working together, just made groups more likely to survive.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and antisocial stuff, that hindered survival. So societies kind of developed these built-in ways to reward the good behavior, the pro-social stuff.
And discourage the bad.
Exactly. Discourage things that benefit one person at the expense of the group. So it's wired into our brains to respond in kind.
And when you talk about these big principles of influence, you pretty much have to mention Robert Cialdini, right?
Absolutely. His work in social psychology was huge. He really highlighted these mental shortcuts we take.
And reciprocity was one of his big ones.
One of his universal principles, yeah.
Yeah.
Explaining why we say yes so often. He calls them his weapons of influence.
And you see reciprocity, everywhere, often without thinking about it, like that famous Mint study in restaurants.
Oh, the Mint study. Yes, a classic illustration.
It's such a neat example. Can you walk us through that? Because the results really show the power of just a tiny gesture.
For sure. So researchers look at tipping. They found if a waiter gave diners just 1 mint with a bill, tips went up about 3%.
Okay, noticeable.
Right. But here's where it gets interesting. If the waiter gave 2 mints, tips didn't just double. They jumped by 14%.
Wow, 14% for an extra mint.
Exactly. So it wasn't just the mint itself.
It was how it was given, maybe? That unlocked the reciprocity.
Precisely. The biggest jump, the really impressive one, came when the waiter did this. Gave 1 mint, started to walk away, paused, turned back, and said something like, "For you nice people, here's an extra mint."
The personal touch.
Exactly. Tips soared by 23%.
23%.
Yeah. So it shows it wasn't just the gift, but the spirit, the personalization, the unexpectedness that triggered a deeper sense of obligation.
The feeling.
The feeling. That's the real currency here. Feeling seen, considered.
That's a really powerful point. And it's not just tiny things like mints. I mean, think about the hair Krishnas back in the day.
Oh, yeah. That's another famous example.
They struggled with donations, right? Until they started doing what?
Until they started giving stuff away first. Free flowers, books, things like that to people on the street.
And suddenly,
donation shot way up. People felt this almost like unstoppable urge to give something back after getting that free gift, even if they didn't particularly want the flower or the book.
Wow. It really shows that subconscious need to sort of balance the books, even if the first gift wasn't asked for.
And that feeling connects right to common sayings, doesn't it? Like tit for tat.
Right. Someone's good to you, you're good back.
Or treat others how you want to be treated. These aren't just, nice ideas. They're reflections of this principle guiding us. Reward good behavior, encourage mutual benefit.
So, okay, this give and take is clearly deep-seated. Let's look at how it actually plays out, both in really positive ways, building connections, but also maybe in less helpful ways,
Yeah.
driving our behavior subtly.
Absolutely. I mean, in business, you see tons of really smart, benevolent uses of reciprocity.
Like what?
Well, think about Amazon's Look Inside feature for books.
Oh, yeah.
For Kindle.
Right. They let you read a bit first. It's
Yeah.
like getting a free gift, a little taste.
Exactly. And that sense of getting something free makes you more likely to then buy the whole book. It completes the exchange. It's a gentle nudge.
Or what about Warby Parker? Sending glasses to try on at home.
Brilliant example. 5 frames, try them free.
Yeah.
That solved a huge problem for people buying glasses online, right? Will they look okay?
Totally.
So by giving that free service, they built trust and, yeah, a subtle feeling of indebtedness made you much more likely to actually buy from them. They solved your problem first.
Okay. And Duolingo, the language app.
Perfect example of the freemium model. You get the basic app free, which is pretty valuable.
Yeah, it works well.
And that initial gift creates that reciprocity pull, gently encourages you to maybe upgrade, pay more features, get rid of ads.
Makes sense. And you can't talk about free stuff without mentioning Costco samples.
Oh, definitely not. Those samples aren't just about tasting the product. They tap right into reciprocity. Some studies show huge sales increases, like up to 2,000% for sampled items.
2,000%.
Yep. You get that free little piece of cheese or whatever, and you feel this little nudge.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should buy the block.
It's all about that first give, creating the urge for the take. But it's not just business, is it? Reciprocity is huge in personal relationships, too.
Absolutely critical. I mean, healthy relationships thrive on it. That mutual exchange of support, emotional investment, care, love.
But it's not like keeping score, right? Like, I did this for you, now you owe me.
No, exactly. That's not healthy reciprocity. It's more about a balanced give and take, where both people are genuinely trying to communicate needs, respond to each other, adapt.
Feeling cared for because the support goes both ways.
Precisely. It's consistently providing and receiving that emotional support.
Mm-hmm.
That's what allows relationships to deepen and grow.
Okay. But like most powerful things in human nature, there's a flip side, a darker side to reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the positive give and take, but what about, an eye for an eye?
Right. The negative side, retaliation. If someone harms you, that natural urge is often to harm them back.
And that can get nasty.
Oh, it can create incredibly vicious cycles. Think about historically blood feuds or even wars where each side feels they have to retaliate, often escalating things.
Yeah.
So while, the threat of being paid back negatively might stop some bad behavior, an unchecked cycle of revenge, that can spiral way out of control, lose any sense of fairness.
Which leads us to one of the most, I think, fascinating and sometimes manipulative uses, the door in the face technique, DITF.
The DITF.
So this is where someone makes a huge request, right? Something totally unreasonable they know you'll say no to.
Like slamming a door in their face, yeah.
And then right after you refuse, they hit you with a second, much smaller, more reasonable request.
And suddenly, you're much more likely to agree to that smaller one. It's a clever psychological trick.
It really is. Cialdini again, right? His classic experiment from 75.
That's the one. He demonstrated it perfectly. First, they asked students to volunteer, 2 hours a week for 2 years, counseling juvenile delinquents.
Okay, huge ask. Obviously, most said no.
Predictably, yeah. Then, immediately after the refusal, they add something much smaller. Would you chaperone delinquents on a one-day trip to the zoo?
Just one day. Much more reasonable. And the results?
Stunning, like you said. 50%, half of the students who got the big request first, then the small one, agreed to the zoo trip.
50%. Compared to what if they only got the small request?
Only 17% agreed if they only heard the small request from the start.
Wow, that's a massive difference.
Huge. That initial rejection, and then the asker seemingly making a concession by asking for less, it dramatically boosted compliance. Makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. How often does this happen to us? Cialdini even experienced it himself, right? With a Boy Scout.
Yeah, he tells that story. A Boy Scout tried to sell him these really expensive circus tickets first. Cialdini said no.
Okay.
Then the scout immediately pivoted. Well, how about some chocolate bars? They're only $1 each.
Ah, the smaller ask.
Right. And Cialdini, who didn't even really like chocolate, found himself buying 2. He realized the scout had used the principle perfectly.
The scout made a concession, so Cialdini felt compelled to make one too.
Exactly. Reciprocal concessions. But it's not just that, is it? There's also maybe a bit of guilt reduction.
Yeah, like you feel bad saying no to the big thing, so saying yes to the small thing makes you feel better.
Could be part of it. And this technique, it's everywhere once you start looking. Kid at a lemonade stand asking for a big donation first, teachers nudging students, fundraising emails.
It's pervasive, but it can get darker, right? More unethical applications.
Oh, definitely. Take the Niederhofer method story. This guy, Victor Niederhofer, when he was an undergrad at Harvard,
What did he do?
he figured out he could enroll in really advanced graduate courses. He knew the professors often felt this sort of reciprocal gratitude towards hardworking grad students.
And would grade them easier.
Essentially, yeah. They'd almost always give grad students an A. So he exploited that unspoken bias to get easy A's without putting in the same level of grad student effort.
Wow. That's gaming the system.
Totally. And that kind of thing is why smart leaders, like Sam Walton at Walmart, had really strict rules.
What did he do?
Famously banned his purchasing agents from accepting anything from vendors. Not even a hot dog or a cup of coffee.
Really? Even something that small?
Yep. Because he understood that even tiny gifts can create that subtle reciprocity bias. It could compromise their judgment, make them favor a vendor, and ultimately cost Walmart money.
That makes sense. And you see this in boardrooms, too.
You can. Like, a CEO might recommend a pay raise for the board directors.
And then maybe subconsciously, the directors feel inclined to reciprocate.
By raising the CEO's pay later on, it can become this potentially problematic, self-reinforcing loop.
And maybe the most famous political example, Watergate.
Yeah, G. Gordon Liddy apparently used this strategy. He pitched these wild, super expensive, totally inappropriate plans first.
Knowing they'd be rejected.
Right. Making the final plan, the $250,000 break-in, seem almost reasonable by comparison, even though it was still hugely problematic.
And that manipulation contributed to bringing down a president.
It played a part in the chain of events, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shows how powerful these subtle influences can be.
It makes you think, if this social obligation feeling is so strong, how does that connect to, well, actual debt, financial debt?
That's a really crucial connection to make.
Does that feeling of indebtedness carry over?
Absolutely. That constant pressure of owing money, meeting payments. Psychologically, it can feel eerily similar to the social indebtedness we feel from reciprocity.
And what does that do to us mentally?
Well, the strain of financial debt can cause huge anxiety, stress, frustration, even depression for some people.
Yeah.
And think about societal pressures, the push for instant gratification. It can lead us to rack up debt, creating this heavy psychological burden. It needs managing, just like we need to manage social obligations.
It really highlights how connected everything is, our mental state, our financial state.
Our physical health, too, it's all intertwined, recognizing that burden is key.
Okay, so this principle is clearly potent for good and sometimes not so good. Given everything we've talked about, how can people listening navigate this? How can you use this understanding for personal empowerment, your own well-being?
Right. Well, first off, just recognizing the pull is huge.
Awareness.
Awareness is step one. And maybe give yourself some time before responding to a request. That urge to reciprocate, it's usually strongest right away.
So pause, take a breath.
Exactly.
No.
And then evaluate the exchange. Really think, does the favor they did for me actually match up to what they're asking for now? Often, the initial gift is way smaller than the requested return favor.
Good point. What else?
Setting healthy boundaries. This is crucial. It's not about being difficult, but about showing self-respect.
How does that help?
When you project confidence, when you respect yourself, it signals to others, subtly, that you're not someone easily pushed around or taken advantage of. It can prevent that undue influence from even starting.
Okay. And what about the negative side, the retaliation instinct?
Yeah, consciously choose justice over revenge. Revenge is like a destructive form of negative reciprocity. It eats away at you. It escalates things, often leads to way more harm.
So focus on what actually rights the wrong.
Exactly. What's fair, maybe involve neutral parties if needed. It's way healthier than just hitting back harder.
And if you are using reciprocity, say, in business or just interacting with people,
Then ethics matter. Be
Yeah.
transparent. Be sincere. Focus on genuine goodwill, building relationships for the long haul, not just quick wins.
create a positive cycle.
A virtuous cycle, yeah, where giving genuinely inspires others to give back, benefiting everyone.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, aligning intentions.
Right. It's the idea that your desires, your beliefs, your experiences, they all influence each other and your actions. Some people connect this to concepts like the law of attraction.
Even if you're skeptical about that.
Even if you are, think about it. Cultivating a positive outlook can create a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Managing your desires keeps you focused and productive. It's like a personal reciprocity with the world. What you put out energetically, mentally, often influences what comes back to you. Not magically, but through the opportunities and mindset you create.
Okay. So we've done a pretty deep dive here into the reciprocity principle.
We sure have.
We've seen its two sides. It's fundamental. It builds connections, cooperation, helps businesses.
But it's also that subtle weapon. Influence, manipulation, if we're not aware and careful.
So the key lesson really is
Self-awareness. It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Recognizing when reciprocity is in play. Is it a sales pitch? A social thing? Is it that feeling around your own finances, that sense of indebtedness?
And recognizing it gives you power.
Exactly. It empowers you to make conscious choices, deliberate decisions, not just reacting to those unconscious pulls and obligations, moving from feeling indebted to making an informed choice.
That's it for this deep dive. A lot to think about. And for you listening, here's maybe one last thought to chew on. Think about those invisible debts you might be carrying around. Positive ones, negative ones. How might consciously choosing when and how you reciprocate, or maybe, just as importantly, when you choose to say no, how might that lead to more mental freedom, stronger relationships, a healthier sense of yourself?
Yeah. What would it look like to really master that art, the art of give and take in your own life?
Yeah.